अपूपस्पृश्यात्। ओम अच्युताय नमः। ओम अनंताय नमः। ओम गोविंदाय नमः। पूपस्पृश्यात्। शुभं करोति कल्याणं। आयु आरोग्य संपदा शत्रु बुद्धि विनाशाय दीप ज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते दीप महादेवी नमो नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि दीपदेवी नमो नमः। आगमार्थं तु देवानां गमनार्थं तु रक्षसां कुर्वे गन्तार्वं तत्र देवताह्वानलाञ्छनं घण्टस्थिताय गरुडाय नमः। पुष्पं गृहीत्वाथ सङ्कल्पः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। प्राणनायम्य ॐ भूः ॐ भुवः ॐ स्वः ॐ महः ॐ जनः ॐ तपः ॐ सत्यं ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। आपो ज्योतिरसोमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरोम् तदेव लग्नं सूर्यं तदेव ताराबलं चन्द्रबलं तदेव विद्याबलं दयाबलं तदेव लक्ष्मीपते गौरीपते त्यङ्घ्रियं स्मरामि। शुभे शोभने मुहूर्ते आद्य ब्रह्मणः द्वितीय परार्धे श्वेतवराहकल्पे सप्तमे वैवस्वत्मन्वन्तरे अष्टाविंशतितमे कलियुगे कलिप्रथम चरणे भूर्लोकान्तर्गतोत्तरअमेरिकाखण्डे कानडादेशे एजाक्स नगरे संकटमोचन श्री हनुमान मंदिरे शुभे दिन शोभने मुहूर्ते शाम्य जमानानां। टेक योर नेम्स एवरीवन। येषां यजमानानां लोकाः समस्ताः क्षेमस्थैर्य धैर्य वीर्य विजय आयुरारोग्यम् ऐश्वर्याभिवृद्ध्यर्थं समस्तमङ्गलावाप्त्यर्थं समस्तदुरितोपशान्त्यर्थं चिन्तितमनोरथवाप्त्यर्थं सर्वाभीष्टसिद्ध्यर्थं सर्वारिष्टशान्त्यर्थं श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत् समेत श्रीरामचंद्र प्रीत्यर्थं वीर हनुमत् प्रीत्यर्थं धर्माटका मोक्षं चतुर्विध पुरुषार्थ सिद्ध्यर्थं अद्य अहं महागणपति पूजनं श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती पूजनं श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत् समेत रामचंद्र पूजनं श्री हनुमत् पूजनं राधा कृष्ण चंद्र पूजनं सदा शिवलिंगाभिषेकाराधनं च करिष्येति संकल्प्य श्री गणेशाय नमः। पूपस्पृश्यात् श्री गणेश ध्यानम्। ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पत न शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्रीमन्महागणाधिपतये नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि आसनार्थ्यक्षतान् समर्पयामि पाद्यम्। ॐ पादयोः पाद्यार्घ्याचमनीयं शरीरे स्नानं च समर्पयामि। श्रीगणेशाय नमः। अर्चना महागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ स्वमुखाय नमः। ॐ एकदन्ताय नमः। ॐ कपिलाय नमः। ॐ गजकर्णकाय नमः। ॐ लंबोदराय नमः। ॐ विकटाय नमः। ॐ विनायकाय नमः। ॐ धूम्रकेतवे नमः। ॐ गणाध्यक्षाय नमः। ॐ फालचन्द्राय नमः। ॐ गजाननाय नमः। ॐ वक्रतुण्डाय नमः। ॐ हेरम्भाय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दपूर्वजाय नमः। नानाविधपरिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। धूपदीपनैवेद्यम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः। भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः। स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः। स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः। स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः। स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्री गणेशाय नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि। दिव्यमंगलदीपं दर्शयामि। दीपानन्तरमिर्माचमनीयं समर्पयामि सर्वरक्षान् धारयामि श्रीगणेशाय नमः नैवेद्यम् ॐ मधुवातारताथे परुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्नसन्तोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषसि मधुमत्पार्थिवकं रजः मरुद्यौरस्तु न पिता मधुमानो वनस्पतिर्मधुमागम् अस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः मधुमहानैवेद्यम् इलालवङ्गकर्पूरताम्बूलानि च समर्पयामि श्रीगणेशाय नमो नमः श्रीगणेशप्रार्थना Pray to Ganesh ji seeking his blessings. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvighnam Kuru me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dante Prachodayat Mushikavahana Modakasve Chamarkarana Vilambita Sutra Vaman Rupa Maheshwara Putra Vighna Vinayaka Pada Namaste Gajananam Bhuta Ganadhi Sevitam Kapita Jambho Phalasara Bhakshitam Umasutam Shoka Vinashakaram Namami Vighneshwara Pada Pankajam Shri Ganeshaya Namaha अथ गणेश पंचरत्न स्तोत्रम् ओम मुदाकरात् मोदकं सदा विमुक्ति साधकं कलाधरावतं सकं विलासी लोक रक्षकम् अनायकैकनायकं विनाशिते बदैत्यकं नताशुभाशुनाशकं नमामि तं विनायकम् न ते तराति भीकरं नवोदितार्कभास्वरं नमत्सुरारि निर्जरं नताधिकापदुधरं सुरेश्वरं निधीश्वरं गजेश्वरं गणेश्वरं महेश्वरं तमाश्रये परात्परं निरन्तरं समस्तलोकशङ्करं निरस्तदैक्यकुञ्जरं दरेतरोदरं वरं वरे भवत्रमक्षरम् कृपाकरं क्षमाकरं मुदाकरं यशस्करं मनस्करं नमस्कृतां नमस्करोमि भास्वरम् अकिञ्चनार्तिमार्जनं चिरन्तनोक्तिभाजनं पुरारिपूर्वनन्दनं सुरारिगर्भचर्वणं प्रपञ्चनाशभीषणं धनञ्जयादिभूषणं कपोलदानवारणं भजे पुराणवारणम् नितान्तकान्तदन्तकान्तिमन्तकान्तकात्मजम् अचिन्त्यरूपमन्तहीनमन्तराय कृन्तनम् निरन्तरे निरन्तरं वसन्तमेव योगिनां तमेकदन्तमेव तं विचिन्तयामि सन्ततम् महागणेश पंचरत्नमाधरेण्यनुमहं प्रजल्पति प्रभात के हृदि स्मरं गणेश्वरम् अरोगितां दोषितां सुसाहितीं सुपुत्रतां समाहितायुरष्टभूतिमभ्युपैति सोचिरात् श्री श्रीमन्महागणाधिपतये नमः। वेदोक्तमन्त्रपुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि। बोलिए गणेश भगवान की जय। श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती पूजनम्। ओम दुर्गा देवी ध्यान। Pray to Mataji seeking her blessings. ओम विद्युदाम समप्रभा मृगपतिस्कन्धस्थिताभीषणां कन्याभिकरवालकेतविलसद्धस्साभिरासेवितां हस्ते चक्रगदे शिखेतविशिखां चापं गुणं तर्जनीं बिभ्राणामनलात्मिकां शशिधरां दुर्गां त्रिनेत्रां भजे। जगदम्बा दुर्गा देवी नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि। महालक्ष्मी देवी ध्यान। विभाव तो लक्ष्मी माँ। ओम हिरण्यवर्णां हरिणीं सुवर्णरजतस्रजां चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावह। महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि। महासरस्वती देवी ध्यान। मेरी चेतन सरस्वती माँ। ओ मेधा देवी जुषमाणान आगाद् विश्वाची भद्र सुमनस्यमाना। महासरस्वत्यै नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि। दुर्गा देवी नमः। महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। महासरस्वत्यै नमः। तपोजनम्। ओम जातवेदसे स्वनवाम सोममराति यतो निरहाति वेदः सनपर्षरति दुर्गानि विश्वा नावेव सिन्धुन्दुरितात्यग्निः तामग्निवर्णां तपसा ज्वलन्तीं वैरोचनीं कर्मफलेषु जुष्टां दुर्गां देवीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। सुतर्षे नमः। अग्ने त्वं पारयानव्यो अस्मान् स्वस्तिभिरति दुर्गानि विश्वा ओष्यवितवी बहुलान उर्वी भवातोकाय तनयाय संयोः विश्वानिनो दुर्गः जातवेदस्सिन्धुन्ननावा दुरितातिपरिशे अग्नेयत्र वन्मनसा गणानो अस्माकं बोध्यविता तनूनां पृतनाचितगं सहमानमुग्रमग्निगं हुवेम परमासधस्तात् सनः परशरति दुर्गानि विश्वाक्षाम देवति दुरितात्यग्निः प्रत्नोषि गमीद्यो अध्वरेषु सनश्च होतानुव्यस्य सत्से स्वाञ्चाग्ने तनुवं पिप्रे स्वास्मभ्यञ्च सौभगमायजस्व गोभिर्ज्येष्ठमयजो निषिक्तं तवेन्द्रविष्णो रनुसञ्चरेमा नाकस्य पृष्ठमविसंवसानो वैष्णवी लोक इहमादयन्ताम्। ॐ कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारी धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गः प्रचोदयात्। श्री दुर्गा देवी नमः। महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। महासरस्वत्यै नमो नमः। अर्चना। ओम दुर्गायै नमः। ओम माहेश्वर्यै नमः। ओम शिवप्रियायै नमः। ओम मंदारवासिन्यै नमः। ओम अर्कायै नमः। ओम गिरीसुतायै नमः। ओम धात्र्यै नमः। ओम महामायायै नमः। ओम स्कंदमात्रे नमः। ओम विनायकमात्रे नमः। जगदम्बायै नमो नमः। नानाविध परिमलपत्र पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ओम महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। ओम कमलवासिन्यै नमः। ओम धनप्रदायिन्यै नमः। ओम विष्णुपत्न्यै नमः। ओम महादेव्यै नमः। ओम श्रीपेठ्यै नमो नमः। महादेव्यै नमः। नानाविध परिमलपत्र पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ओम महासरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम वाग्देव्यै नमः। ओम वीणाधारिण्यै नमः। ओम चतुराननवल्लभायै नमः। ओम ज्ञानप्रदायिन्यै नमः। ओम हंसवाहिन्यै नमः। ओम श्री महासरस्वत्यै नमः। दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वतीभ्यो नमः। नानाविध परिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ओम आर्द्रां पुष्करिणीं पुष्टिं सुवर्णां हेममालिनीं सूर्यां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावः। श्री दुर्गा देव्यै नमः। महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। महासरस्वत्यै नमो नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि याते हेतिर्मि दुष्टमहस्ते बभूवते दनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा। श्री दुर्गा देव्यै नमो नमः। महालक्ष्म्यै नमो नमः। कालभैरवाय नमः। काली महामायै नमः। महासरस्वत्यै नमः। दिव्यमङ्गलदीपं दर्शयामि। दीपानन्तरविरमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि। जगदम्बायै नमः। नैवेद्यम् ॐ अन्नपूर्णे सदा पूर्णे शङ्करप्राणवल्लभे ज्ञानवैराग्यसिद्ध्यर्थं भिक्षां देहि च पार्वतीम्। श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वतीभ्यो नमः। अन्नं चतुर्विधं स्वादुरसैषद्भिः समन्वितं नैवेद्यं गृह्यतां देवी भक्तिमेह्याचलं कुरु। ॐ प्राणय स्वाहा पनय स्वाहा व्याने स्वाहा उदाने स्वाहा समाने स्वाहा ब्रह्मणे स्वाहा ब्रह्मणमात्मा सर्वं महानैवेद्यं समर्पयामि। जगदम्बायै नमो नमः। इलालवङ्गकर्पूरताम्बूलानि च निवेदयामि। दुर्गादेव्यै नमः। महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। महासरस्वत्यै नमः। सकलाराधनैः सुवर्चितं महादेव्यै नमो नमः। ताम्बूलं कृत्वा अथ सिद्धकुञ्जिका स्तोत्रं शिव उवाच Pretarukama will chant Kunjika Stotram as we conclude puja to the Divine Mother. Om Shrunadevi Pravakshyami Kunjika Stotram Uttamam Yena Mantra Prabhavena Chandi Japa Shubho Bhavit Nakavacham Nargala Stotram Kilakam Narahasyakam Nasuktam Napi Dhyanancha Nanyaso Nachavarchanam Kunjika Patha Matrena Durga Patha Phalam Labhet Atiguhyataram Devi Devanamapi Durlabham Gopaniyam Prayatnena Swayoni Eva Parvati Maranam Mohanam Vashyam Sambhana Uchchatanadhikam Patamatrena Samsiddhyeta Kunjika Stotramuttamam Atha Mantraha Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundayai Viche Om Glam Hum Klim Jum Saha Jwalaya Jwalaya Jwal Jwal Prajwal Prajwal Aim Hrim Klim Chamundayai Viche Jwalaham Samlam Ksham Phat Swaha iti mantraha Namaste Rudra Rupinyai Namaste Madhumardini Namakaitavaharinyai Namaste Mahishardini Namaste Shumbhahantrai cha Nishumbhasurghatini Jagratam hi Mahadevi Japam Siddham Kurushvame Amkari Srishti Rupaye Hrimkari Pratipalika क्लीं कारिकामरूपिण्यै बीजरूपे नमोऽस्तुते चामुण्डा चण्डघाती च यैकारी वरदायिनी विच्चे चाभयदा नित्यं नमस्ते मन्त्ररूपिणी धाम धीं धूं दुर्जते पद्मिं वां वीं भूं वागदीश्वरीं क्रां क्रीं क्रूं कालिका देवी शां शीं शुं मे शुभं कुरु हुं हुं हुंकाररूपिण्यै जं 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 भनाधिनी भ्रां भ्रीं भ्रूं भैरवी भद्रे भवान्यै ते नमो नमः अं कं चं टं तं पं यं शं विं दुं ऐं विं हं क्षं धिजाग्रं त्रोतय त्रोतय दीप्तं कुरु कुरु स्वाहा पां पिं पुं पार्वती पूर्णा खां खीं खुं खेचरी तथा सां सिं सुं सप्तशती दिव्य मंत्रसिद्धिं कुरुष्व मे इरं तु कुञ्जिका स्तोत्रं मन्त्रजागार्ति हेतवे अभक्तेनैव दातव्यं गोपितं रक्ष पार्वती यस्तु कुञ्जिकया देवी हीनां सप्तशतीं पठेत् न तस्य जायते सिद्धिररण्ये रोदनं यथा इति श्री रुद्रयामले गौरी तंत्रे शिव पार्वती संवादे कुंजिका स्तोत्रं संपूर्णम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। जयकारा शेरवालिदा बोल साचे दरबार की जय। श्री रामचंद्र पूजनम विदु पूजा तो श्री राम हनुमान जी and भगवान राधा कृष्ण together. रामचंद्राय नमः। ओम नीलांभुज श्यामल कोमलांगं सीता समारोपितवाम भागं पाणौ महासायक चारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथं। श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत श्री रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री हनुमते नमः। बाल रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री हनुमध्यानम्। ओम यत्र यत्र रघुनाथ कीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं। श्रीवीर हनुमते नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि। पंचमुखी हनुमते नमः। हनुमतस्त्राय नमो नमः। रामचंद्रमूर्तये नमः। श्री राधा कृष्ण ध्यानम्। ओम करारविंदेन पदारविंदं मुखारविंदे विनिवेशयन्तं वटस्य पत्रस्य पुटे शयानं बालं मुकुंदं मनसा स्मरामि। बाल मुकुंदाय नमः। राधा कृष्णभ्यां नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि। श्री वेंकटेशाय नमः। सत्यनारायणाय नमः। बालकृष्णाय नमः। ओम कौसल्या सुप्रजा रामपूर्वा संध्या प्रवर्तते उत्तिष्ठ नरशार्दूल कर्तव्यं देवमाह्निकम्। उत्तिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ गोविन्द उत्तिष्ठ गरुडध्वज उत्तिष्ठ कमलाकान्ता त्रैलोक्यं मङ्गलं कुरु त्रैलोक्यं मङ्गलं कुरु त्रैलोक्यं मङ्गलं कुरु। श्री वेंकटेशाय नमः। सत्यनारायणाय बालकृष्णाय नमो नमः। सत्यनारायण स्वामिने नमः। श्री चक्रदेवे नमः। अथ पाद्यम् ओम सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्ष सहस्रपात् सभूमिं विश्वतो भृत्वात्यतिष्ठ दशाङ्गुलं पुरुषैवेदगं सर्वं यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यं उतामृतत्वशेषानः यदन्नेनात्यरोहति एतावानस्य महिमा अतो जायागिश्च पूरुषः पादोऽस्य विश्वभूतानि त्रिपादस्यामृतं दिवि त्रिपादोर्ग उदयपुरुषः पादोऽस्येह भवात् पुनः ततो विश्वं व्यक्रामत् शासनान शने अभि ॐ पुष्पं तस्मात् विराड जायत विराजो अधिपूरुषः स जातोऽत्यरिच्यता पश्चात् भूमिमथो पुरः यत्पुरुषेण हविषा देवा यज्ञमतन्वता वसन्तो अस्यासीदाजं ग्रीष्म इद्म शरद्धवि सप्तास्यासन् परिदयः त्रिसप्तसमिधः कृताः देवा यत्यज्ञन्तन्वानाः अवद्नन् पुरुषं पशुं तं यज्ञं वरहिषि प्रोक्षन् पुरुषं जातमकृत तेन देवा अयजन्ता साध्या ऋषयश्च तस्मात् सर्वहुतः संवृतं पृषदाजं पशुगिस्तागिश्चक्रे वायव्यान् आरण्यान् ग्राण्याश्च तस्मात् सर्वहुतः ऋचस्सामानि जज्ञिरे छन्दागंसि जज्ञिरे तस्मात् यजुस्तस्मादजायत तस्मादश्वा अजायन्त ये केचोभयादतः गावोह जज्ञिरे तस्माच्चाता अजावयः यत्पुरुषं व्यददुः कतिधा व्यकल्पयन् मुखं खिमस्य खौ बाहु काबुरुपादा उच्येते ब्राह्मणोऽस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यकृतः उरुतरस्य यद्वैश्यः पद्भ्यागं शूद्रो अजायत धूपमाघ्रापयामि धूपं दिव्यपुष्पाणि च समर्पयामि सुगन्धपुष्पाणि च श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री हनुमते नमः। धूपम् ॐ ब्राह्मणोऽस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यकृतः उरुतरस्य द्वैषः पद्भ्यागं शूद्रो अजायत सर्वं महानैवेद्यं समर्पयामि। श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री हनुमते नमः। राधा कृष्णाभ्यां नमः। सुगंध धूपमाघ्रापयामि धूपानन्तरमिदमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि। या ते हेतिर्मीदुष्टमहस्ये बभूवते तनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा। श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री हनुमते नमः। राधा कृष्णाभ्यां नमः। दिव्यमंगलदीपं दर्शयामि दीपानन्तरमिदमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि सर्वरक्षान् धारयामि। हरि ओम। आरती ले। नैवेद्यम् ॐ नाभ्यासिरन्तरिक्षं शुष्णोऽध्यौ समवर्तता पद्भ्यां भूमिशश्रोत्रात् तथा लोकागम अकल्पयन् वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसस्तु पारे सर्वाणि रूपाणि विचित्य धीरः नामानि कृत्वाभिवरण्यदास्ते धाता पुरस्ताच्च मुदा जहार शक्रप्रविद्वान् प्रदिशश्चतस्रः तमेवं विद्वान् अमृत इह भवति नान्यपन्था अयनाय विद्यते यज्ञेन यज्ञमयजन्त देवाः तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्यासन् ते हनाकं महिमानः सचन्ते यत्र पूर्वे साध्या सन्ति देवाः नैवेद्यं समर्पयामि ताम्बूलं च निवेदयामि। सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत श्रीरामचंद्राय नमः। वीर हनुमते नमः। राधा कृष्णाभ्या नमः। प्रार्थना है यही मेरी हनुमान जी, प्रार्थना है यही मेरी हनुमान जी, मेरे सिर पे भी अब हाथ धर दीजिए। प्रार्थना है यही मेरी हनुमान जी, मेरे सिर पे भी अब हाथ धर दीजिए। राम सीता का दर्शन करा के मुझे, राम सीता का दर्शन करा के मुझे, मेरे सपने को साकार कर दीजिए, मेरे सपने को साकार कर दीजिए। श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री हनुमते नमः। हनुमान चालीसा गाएंगे। All of us will sing Hanuman Chalisa together. Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj Nij Man Mukur Sudhari Barnau Raghuvar Bimal Jasu Jodayak Phalchari Buddhihin Tanu Janike सुमेरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तेहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि रंग जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय संजीवन लखन जियारे श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुमरो यश गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानु, प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माहि, जल दिलाहि गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के चेते, सुगमय अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम द्वारे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाँकते काँपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरय सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारु युग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चितना धरई, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटै मिटै सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महा सुख होई। रोय परे हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, जय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। जय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। पवन तन संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, मेरे प्रभु रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलिए रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम। तस्मात् कारुण्य भावेन रक्ष रक्ष हनुमत। रक्ष रक्ष श्री रामचंद्र। रक्ष रक्ष श्री कृष्णचंद्र। अनंत कोटि प्रक्ष नमस्कारान् समर्पयामि। अथ शिव पूजनम्। श्री सांब सदाशिवाय नमो नमः। नमः शिवाय देवाय सच्चिदानन्दमूर्तये। नमो वेदांत वेद्याय योगिनां गुरवे नमः। श्री सांब सदाशिवाय नमः। तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात्। श्री सांब सदाशिवाय नमो नमः। Om. You can touch by falling and touch each limb of your body. We transform our bodies into a mandir. We ask Bhagwan Shiva to bless us with a healthy and strong body always. Om Asya Shri Rudradhyaya Prashna Mahamantrasya Aghora Rishihi Anushtup Chandah Sankarshanamurti Swarupo Yo Savaditya Parma Purushasesha Rudra Devata. Om Namah Shivaya Iti Bijam Shivataraya Iti Shaktihi Mahadevaya Iti Kilakam Shri Samba Sarashu Prasar Siddhyarthe Jape Vinyogaha. Om Agnihotratmani Angushtabhyan Namaha. Om Darsha Purnamasaatmane Tarjanibhyan Namaha. Om Chaturmasyatmane Madhyamabhyan Namaha. Om Nirurvashbandhatmane Anamikabhyan Namaha. Om Jyotishtumatmane Karit भ्यां नमः। ओम सरखत्वात्मनि करतल करपृष्ठाभ्यां नमः। ओम अग्निहोत्रात्मनि हृदयाय नमः। ओम दर्शपूर्णमासात्मनि शिरसे। ओम चातुर्मास्यात्मने शिकाय वषट्। ओम निरूरपशुबन्धात्मने कवचाय हुम्। ओम ज्योतिष्ठोमात्मने नेत्रत्रयाय भविष्यत्। ओम सर्वकृत्वात्मने अस्त्राय फट्। भूर्भुवस्वरोमिति दिग्बन्धः ध्यानम्। आपाताल नभस्थलान्तपो न ब्रह्माण्डमा विस्फुरत्। ज्योतिस्फातिकलिङ्गमौलिविलसत्पूर्णेन्दुवान्तामृतैः। अस्तोकाप्लुतमेकमीशमनिशं रुद्रानुवाकाञ्जपन्। ध्याये दीप्सितसिद्धये ध्रुवपरं विप्रोऽभिषिञ्चेच्छिवम्। ब्रह्माण्डव्याप्तदेहा भसितं हिमृचा भासमाना भुजङ्गैः। कण्ठे कालाकपरदाकलितशशिकलाश्चण्डकोदण्डहस्ताः। त्रक्षा रुद्राक्षमाला प्रकटितविभवा शाम्भवा मूर्तिभेदाः। रुद्रा श्रीरुद्रसूक्तप्रकटितविभवा नः प्रयच्छन्तु सौख्यम्। ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत न शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्रीमन्महागणाधिपतये नमः। ओम संच मे मयश्च मे प्रियंच मे नुकामश्च मे कामश्च मे सौमनसश्च मे भद्रं च मे श्रेयश्च मे वस्यश्च मे यशश्च मे भगश्च मे द्रविणञ्च मे यन्ता च मे धर्ता च मे धृतिश्च मे विश्वञ्च मे संविच्च मे ज्ञात्रं च मे सूश्च मे प्रसूश्च मे सीरञ्च मे अलश्च मृतञ्च मे अमृतञ्च मे यक्ष्मञ्च मे नामयच्च मे जीवातुश्च मे दीर्घायुत्वञ्च मे नमित्रञ्च मे भयञ्च मे सुगञ्च मे शयनञ्च मे सूषा च मे सुरिनञ्च मे। ओम शांति 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 सदाशिवोम। Please come for Abhishek, everyone. After Abhishek, take some sanitizer when you're done and clean your hands. ओम नमो भगवते रुद्राय नमस्ते रुद्रमण्यौ तोतेशवे नमः। नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यां ते नमः। या तेषु शिवतमा शुम्बभूवते धनुः शिवा शरव्याय तवथया नो रुद्रमृडया। या ते रुद्रशिवा तनूर्घोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनवाशन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिचाकशेः यामिशं गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्षस्तवे शिवाङ्गिरित्र यथा न सर्वमिज्जगतेक्ष्मघं सुमना असत् अध्यवोचररिभक्ता प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक् अहीगिश्च सर्वाञ्जम्भयन् सर्वाश्च यातु धानः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुसुमङ्गलः ये चेमागं रुद्रा अभितो दीक्षुश्रुता सहस्रशो वै शागम्हेड ईमहे असौ यो वसर्पतिनीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपादृशन् अदृशनुरहार्यः उतैनं विश्वाभूतानि सदृष्टो मृदयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीडुषे अथो यस्य सत्त्वानोऽहं तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोराट्नियोर्जां याश्च ते हस्तैषवपराता भगवो वप अवतत्य धनुस्त्वगं सहस्राक्ष सतेषुधे निशील्य शल्याणां मुखा शिवो न सोमना भव वे जन्दनकपर्जन विशल्यो वाणवाघं मुता अनेसनशेषवाभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः याते हेतिर्मीदुष्टमहस्ते बभूवते ननुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नातताय दृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो येषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निधेहितं शम्भवे नमः। ओं नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यंबकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकालाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय मृत्युंजयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। We'll sing Lingashtakam as we continue with Abhisheka. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Brahma Murari Surarchit Lingam Nirmal Bhashit Shobhit Lingam Janam Jadukha Vinashan Lingam Tat Pranamahami Sada Shivalingam Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Deva Muni Pravararchit Lingam Kamadaham Karunakarilingam Ravanadarpa Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamahami Sada Shivalingam Om Namah Shivaya 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 Sarva Sugandhi Sulepit Lingam Buddhi Vivardhan Karana Lingam सिद्धसुरासुरवन्दितलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 कनक महामणिभूषितलिङ्गं फणिपतिवेष्टितशोभितलिङ्गं दक्षसुयज्ञविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 कुङ्कुमचन्दन लेपितलिङ्गं पङ्कजहार सुशोभितलिङ्गं सञ्चितपाप विनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 देवगणार्चित सेवितलिङ्गं भावैर्भक्तिभिरेवचलिङ्गं दिनकरकोटिप्रभाकरलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 अष्टदलोपरिवेष्टितलिङ्गं सर्वसमुद्भवकारणलिङ्गम् अष्टदरिद्रविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 सुरगुरु सुरवर पूजितलिङ्गं सुरवन पुष्प सदार्चितलिङ्गं परात् परं परमानन्दलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Lingashtakamiram punyam yah pathet Shiva sannidhau Shivalokamavatnoti Shivena sahamodate. Har Har Namah Parvati Pate, Har Har Mahadeva. We'll continue with bhajans. Those who will be singing, please have your bhajan ready. Please mark the page of your bhajan so that when your turn comes, there will be no delay.
Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai Trilocana, Jai Dakmochan, Jai Trilocana, Jai Dakmochan, Jai Mangalkari,
Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari.
Mukti Pradayaka Sharanatarangi, Sheesh Jatamesh Vitgange.
Mukti Pradayak Taran Tarange, Sheesh Jata mein Shobhit Gange. Ang
Babudhir Mai Bhumi, Jai Kailash Bihari,
Bihari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai Jai Jai
Tripurari. गले मंद की माँ कतिल मृज छाँव,
भस्म तनु साजे,
तू भी चंद्र सोएगा,
दिमक धिम ताल,
डमरू बाजे। दुष्ट निकंदन है, जय जगबंदन है। दुष्ट निकंदन है, जय जगबंदन है। जय त्रिशूलधारी, जय 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 त्रिपुरारी, जय 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 त्रिपुरारी। जय त्रिलोचन, जय रुकमोचन,
जय हे त्रिलोचन, जय दुख मोचन, जय हे मंगलकारी।
जय 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 त्रिपुरारी, जय 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 त्रिपुरारी।
त्रिपुरारी,
जय
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 त्रिपुरारी।
तो सब प्रसाद to offer. Please bring your prasad. भोग चढ़ाएंगे. Please bring your prasad, everyone. Those of prasad to offer. We'll continue with bhajans.
कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है। ऐसे श्री भगवान को, ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है, बारंबार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है। यशोदा जिनकी मैया है, नंद जी बापैया है। यशोदा जिनकी मैया है, नंद जी बापैया है। ऐसे श्री गोपाल को, ऐसे श्री गोपाल को बारंबार प्रणाम है, बारंबार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है। लूत लूत दधि माखन कायो, ग्वाल बाल संग धेनु चरायो। लूत लूत दधि माखन कायो, ग्वाल बाल संग धेनु चरायो। ऐसे लीला धाम को, ऐसे लीला धाम को बारंबार प्रणाम है, बारंबार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है। द्रौपद सुत को लाज बचायो, रहस्य गज को बंद चुरायो। द्रौपद सुत को लाज बचायो, रहस्य गज को बंद चुरायो। ऐसे कृपा धाम को, ऐसे कृपा धाम को बारंबार प्रणाम है, बारंबार प्रणाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है। कृष्ण जिनका नाम है, गोकुल जिनका धाम है। ऐसे श्री भगवान को, ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है, बारंबार
Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram. 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 Sitaram, Sitaram, Baj pyare tu Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Baj pyare tu Sitaram. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram. ईश्वर ब्रह्मा तेरो नाम, सबको संमत दे भगवान. ईश्वर ब्रह्मा तेरो नाम, सबको संमत दे भगवान. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम. हनुमान के मुख से निकला जय राम जय सिया राम. हनुमान के मुख से निकला जय राम जय सिया राम. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम. जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम. जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम. जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम. जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम. सीताराम सीताराम बज प्यारे तू सीताराम. सीताराम सीताराम बज प्यारे तू सीताराम. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम. रघुपति राघव राम पतित पावन सीताराम पतित पावन सीताराम पतित पावन सीताराम।
जय विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय 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 विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय जय विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय 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 शारदा जय 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 वरदायिनी जय 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 शारदा जय 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 वरदायिनी जय 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 हंसवाहिनी बुद्धिदायिनी हंसवाहिनी बुद्धिदायिनी जय सरस्वती जय 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 विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय 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 शक्तिमान जय 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 ज्योतिर्मय जय जय शक्तिमान जय 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 ज्योतिर्मय जय 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 पापनाशिनी बुद्धिदायिनी पापनाशिनी मुक्तिदायिनी जय जय दुर्गे जय 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 विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय 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 पवन पुत्र जय 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 रामदूत जय जय पवन पुत्र जय 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 रामदूत जय 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 शक्तिमान बजरंग बल शक्तिमान बजरंग बल जय जय हनुमान जय 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 विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय 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 विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय जय।
ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। महासरस्वत्यै नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री राम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने। अतुलित बलधामं हेम शैलावदेहं धनुजवन कृशानुं ज्ञानिनामग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणामधीशं रघुपति प्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि। श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम। श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम। Together all of us sing Shri Ram Jai Ram
जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री हनुमते नमः। राम राम। In the beginning of the Balkan of Ramcharitamanas, there was a conversation going on between Parvati Ma and Bhagavan Shiva. A profound conversation. And she asked many questions concerning spirituality. But more importantly, she had a doubt whether Prabhu Shri Ram was really the incarnation of Vishnu Bhagavan. Was he really Bhagavan? And when I use the word Bhagavan, I don't like to use the word God. Remember that, right? So Bhagavan means Bhagavan. Let us get back to using the Sanskrit words. She wanted to know, was he really Bhagavan in human form walking upon this earth? She had many doubts. And in our dharma, it's okay, you're allowed to have doubts. You must have doubts. In the initial stages of spirituality, there's nothing for you to swallow. Meaning that someone tells you something and you have to accept that as a rule and don't question it. That is not spirituality. That is not Vedic Dharma. You are allowed to question every aspect, my friends. Please ask questions. So she had many questions. Then, as she asked these questions, she herself decided to test Bhagavan Shri Ram. We all know she assumed the form of Sita Devi. When Shri Ram and Lakshman ji were searching for Janaki Ma when she was abducted by Ravan. But today we will look at some of her questions. She asked many questions, but time will not permit us to look. Of course, the Katha will continue week after week. But this topic we'll talk about this morning is Sagun or Nirgun mein kuch bhed nahi hai. So Bhagavan Shiva answered her question. So she wanted to know what's the difference between a personal God and an impersonal God. When I say personal, I mean like for us we use Murti Puja, we use a replica of Bhagavan, we use a symbol. Or what is the difference between the symbol and this God that has no name, no form? That is Nirakar. What is the difference? It's an age-old question. A couple of weeks ago, we looked at it from the point of view of Bhagavad Gita, the 12th chapter, where Arjuna asked a similar question. You see, my friends, the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Puranas, they're all question and answer, where spiritual aspirants ask questions to know. To understand this truth, we must ask questions, my friends. We have to ask questions. Only then will we remove our agyan, our ignorance. And when I say ignorance, ignorance as to who we are and who Bhagavan really is. What's our relationship? So we'll commence with the first Chaupai, again after Doha. After Sorta number 115, Chaupai number 1, for some devotees usually follow online when we're reading. So after Sorta number 115, Chaupai number 1. Let us try to understand this question. Bhagavan Shiva answered, but it's difficult for us to understand. We'll try this morning to understand this Chaupai. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri
Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
सगुन ही अगुन ही नहीं कछु भेदा सगुन ही अगुन ही नहीं कछु भेदा गावहि मुनि पुराण बुध वेदा गावहि मुनि पुराण बुध भेदा श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
अगुन अरूप अलख अज जोई अगुन अरूप अलख अज जोई भगत प्रेम बस सगुन सोई श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
सगुन ही अगुन ही नहीं कछु भेदा. There is no difference between the personal and impersonal aspect of Bhagavan. Whether you worship him in Murti form, you have a form, you have a symbol, or you do not have a symbol. That does not change who Ishwar is. It is just a way of one to make connection. कुछ भेद नहीं है. There is no difference. गावहि गुण, गावहि मुनि पुराण बुद्ध वेदा. The saints and sages. The Buddha, when I say Buddha, I'm not referring to Gautam Buddha. And Buddha refers to an enlightened person. It's just a title given to him when he attained enlightenment. So Buddha does not always refer to Gautam Buddha. Buddha means one who has attained enlightenment. So the wise, the enlightened people, the Puranas, the Vedas, and all the saints and sages, they say that there is no difference between the Sagun and Nirgun. So why people fight? Oh, my form of God is the best. My Bhagavan is best. My religion is best. I don't have symbols like you. You have so many symbols. You have all of these things. Those people who are criticized, we have to call it out as it is sometimes. For us, is Advaita. That means that within me, within you, within every other conscious being, within this universe and yet beyond, Bhagavan pervades. Antarbahishcha tat sarvam vyapya Narayana. This is a Narayana Upanishad says. These people who are professing to worship Nirakar, a formless God, for them, even there's a separation. You can never equate a human being or anything to God. So there's Dvait. And yet they're professing to be Advait, non-dual. Their dual in essence means that they're separate. God is simply sitting somewhere in heaven. And one is separate from Bhagavan. But Advait, Tattvamasi, thou art that. You have heard this statement many times, but something should be repeated over and over. When a child goes to school and learns the alphabet, how many times the child has to go over that before he stays? The tune. For us, for spirituality, you have to hear some things over. Again, then it will register in the mind. So Advait, there's no difference. Please understand this. You see, our Hindu brothers and sisters are being brainwashed, and they're told all kinds of silly things. And we must blame them for listening to silly things what people say, because no one wants to put effort in learning our dharma. So anybody comes and tells them anything, brainwash them, they're ready to change their religion. Anyone who is ready to change their religion for a few personal benefit is not a spiritual aspirant. Is not a spiritual aspirant. One who truly believes in Bhagavan, why would you change? Those same people, take for example, those people, when our Hindu brothers and sisters change to another religion, you can hear how critical they are of Hinduism. You've seen it. You've heard it. If those same individuals put a fraction of the effort they're putting into learning the new religion, they would have never changed their religion in the first place. Am I right? Well, no, nobody wants to spend time and learn. People come and tell them a few stories to brainwash them. They're ready to change right away. So, in order to gain knowledge, one has to make effort. You must pick up the Shastra and read, my friends. You must go to satsang and listen. And when I say satsang, sometimes we go to satsang and there's only singing. That's not satsang. That's a bhajan evening. Satsang where you have singing, and you must leave with a message from the Shastra. And every place we go, you know, what's it beautiful about satsang? You have a burning question. Many times devotee will come and tell, they will talk about it. In mandir or other places of worship. I had this burning question about spirituality, and I went and I sat in the mandir or satsang, and I found answer to that question that I had. You have a question? You go, think about it. Bhagavan, give me guidance. Put me in an environment where I can go and find answer to these questions. Bhagavan will certainly guide you. So there is no difference. Aguna, arupa, alaka, ajajoi. That reality where there's aguna. Really, this reality, as I said, pervades everything. Nirgun has no form, but arup, no name, no form. Alak, you can't see this reality with our human eyes. Reality, ether, for example. Ether pervades everything. Can you feel ether? No, ether is there, but we can't see ether. Ajya, we celebrate the Janma of Bhagavan, Sri Ram, Bhagavan, Sri Krishna. But Bhagavan doesn't have any Janma, has no birth really. We're talking about the soul, right? We're not talking about the physical body. You really have no birth. Why you celebrate birthday? It's just it's a celebration for this particular incarnation. But you have no birth. You're birthless. You as Atma, you're ageless. You have no age. You do not change. You have no modification. You stay the same all the time. You're ever new, ever fresh. So that which is attributeless, formless, invisible, unborn becomes qualified. Why? Bhagata prema vasa saguna sohoi. Because of the devotees' love, Bhagavan had to take the form of Shri Ram. Because Shivriman was doing tapasya for hundreds and hundreds of years. You may tell him, how long? Constant. Look how many devotees. They were waiting for Bhagavan to have his darshan. So the love of the devotee forced Bhagavan to acquire form and come. So powerful is our love for Bhagavan. We force this reality to assume a form and come. And Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadhyanti. Any form you think of Bhagavan and you worship, Bhagavan will reveal himself to you in that form. This is the power of love, my friends. It is such a powerful force. Look at all the devotees who had the darshan of Bhagavan. Bhagavan came in so many different forms. Because of their love and sincerity, they forced Ishvara to assume a form and come. So because of one's bhakti, Bhagavan assumes a form and comes. If, I know in certain tradition, this statement, to make such a statement in certain traditions, you can be stoned to death. You can lose your head immediately just like that, if you question anything. But it's the beauty of spirituality. You question. You know how many questions Parvati Ma asked Bhagavan Shiva? Hundreds of questions she asked. And each question she asked, he answered. So there's no difference. Now, it's hard for us to understand this nameless, formless reality, because of love, Bhagavan comes. Now Bhagavan gives us an example, an everyday example that you and I see. This example will help us to relate how Bhagavan takes a form and comes. How there is no difference between the Nirguna and Nirakar, the God with form and Bhagavan without form. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram. रहित सगुन सोई कैसे, जो गुण रहित सगुन सोई कैसे, जलु ही उपल विगत नहीं जैसे, जलु ही उपल बिलग नहीं जैसे। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। जासुदाम भ्रमति वीर पतंगा, जासुदाम जासुदाम भ्रमति निरपतंगा, देहि किमहिया भोह प्रसंगा, देहि किमि कहिया विमोह प्रसंगा। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। जो गुण रहित सगुन सोई कैसे. How did this formless Bhagavan assume a form? So now Bhagavan Shiva answered the question. Jalu hima upala bigata nahi jaise. And the example is, in the same way as water is not different from ice and snow. What is snow and ice? Water in essence. Likewise, there is no difference between Bhagavan with a form and Bhagavan without a form. Just how water is the same in ice and snow. So why do we argue and fight? It's just one's understanding, one's preference. We We can relate to the Murti because it helps us to control our mind. We stand before Bhagavan, so much emotions go through our mind. For the untrained mind, we can't think of Omkar. Only the selected few, and among the Jnanis, only a selected few can meditate on the impersonal aspect of Bhagavan. In essence, what Bhagavan is saying, take a form, any aspect that is appealing to you. But when you sit for worship, worship with faith and devotion. Now he took an opportunity to describe who Sri Ram is, as Parvati Ma was asking all of these questions. So slowly he is trying to remove her ignorance. So Parvati Ma acting the role, Bhagavan, she was the Sadguru, and she acting the role of a disciple, asking questions. And by her asking these questions, we have many answers to the same questions that we will ask in spirituality. This is the nature of Prabhu Sri Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram Sachidananda Dinesa. Ram Sachidananda Dinesa. Nahi tah moh nisa lavlesa. Nahi tav moh nisa lavlesa. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
सहज प्रकाश रूप भगवाना. सहज प्रकाश रूप भगवान. नहीं तह पुनि विज्ञान बिहाना. न तह पुनि विज्ञान बिहाना. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय रामा. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय रामा.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram Satchidananda Dinesa. Bhagavan Shiva said, Shri Ram is Satchitanand, truth, consciousness, and bliss combined together. Truth can only be one. Consciousness can only be one. And bliss, as a matter of fact, our nature is bliss. We feel that, when I get this, when I get that, when I'm comfortable in life, I'll experience happiness. But our nature is bliss. Don't wait for any particular moment. Try to enjoy every moment. Some people say, when I retire, when this, when I win this, when I win that. No. Live every day. Live blissful every day. That's our nature. So Shri Ram is Sat Chit Anand, truth, consciousness, and bliss combined together. Nahi tah moha nisa lavalesa. The night of ignorance cannot exist, even in a minute fraction in Shri Ram, because he's all bliss. He's Parabrahm. So this question that he asks, why is he, lamenting like that and searching for his Dharmapatni Sita Devi? So she took him for an ordinary man. This is how an ordinary person would respond to situations in life. We experience difficulties in life, challenges. Most of us respond like this. But she looked and she saw Shri Ram lamenting along with Lakshmanji. Ye to sakshat nar hai, ye Narayan nahi hai. He can't be Bhagwan. अपने पत्नी के पीछे रोते हैं, ये तो भगवान है. That's what she's asking. He's running behind his wife and he's crying. Is he really Bhagwan? But she failed to recognize him. We believe like that sometimes. We watch people and we judge them beforehand. Sahaja Prakasa Rupa Bhagavana. He is the Supreme. He is Ishvara, whose very being is Prakash, is light. Nahi tahapuni Vijnana Bihana. And in him there can be no dawn of wisdom. He is the source of all wisdom. How can there be wisdom in consciousness? Is the source of all wisdom. All wisdom came out of Ishvara. All consciousness came out of Bhagavan. All knowledge rather came out of Ishvara. So when we look at Sri Ram, he went to Gurukul, he went through the whole system to gain knowledge, but he's just following the lifestyle of a Vaidika, teaching us what to do. So we look at it, even Bhagavan Krishna went to Gurukul ashram. Sri Ram went from a young age, but how old? It's not related to the Katha, but let me just test your memory. I know I have a very knowledgeable audience. How old was Bhagavan Krishna when he went to Gurukul ashram? Anybody? He was young. Remember, every day of his life, Kansa and all his people were trying to kill him. Putana, a couple days after his birth, Masi Putana tried to kill him. Bhagavan Krishna went to Gurukul ashram at the age of 16 years old. Most children go to ashram from a very tender age. So Bhagavan, there can be no dawn of wisdom in Ishvara. This is the Ram that we worship. This is Prabhu Shri Ram that we all worship. Bhagavan Shiva continues in the other chaupai. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram
Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram. Harsh Vishad Jnana Ajnana. Harsh Vishad ज्ञान अज्ञान जीव धर्म अहिमित अभिमान श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम.
श्री राम जय राम जय राम श्री राम
Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
श्री राम जय राम राम ब्रह्म व्यापक जग जाना राम ब्रह्म व्यापक भग परमानंद परेश पुराना परमानंद परेश पुराना श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम
Jai Jai Rama.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम. Next, Bhagavan Shiva listed some qualities or attributes of a jiva. This is what you and I experience. But Bhagavan Sri Ram as the avatar does not experience this. And what are those things that we experience? Harsha Vishad, joy and sorrow. Every human being, I should say every conscious being, because of prarabdha karma, there must be sukha and dukkha. goes beyond religion, beyond culture, beyond languages, beyond lifestyles. Sukha and dukkha. The jiva experience. When I say jiva, it means a conscious being. We're all jivas. But we identify with the body and identify with the emotions. So that's why we go through these cycles, happiness and sadness. Really, the jiva is Brahma. But because of the ignorance, not knowing itself to be Brahma, it takes the body and emotions to be part of its life. And it goes through these pairs of opposites. This is the crux of Vedanta, my friends. We all identify with emotions. When things are okay, we seldom remember Bhagavan. Is that true? When things are not okay, then we always remember Bhagavan. That's why Kunti Bhuva asked Bhagavan Krishna, Mujhe dukh do, give me pain and suffering so that I will always remember you. A bhakta will ask for suffering. Why? Because in difficult moments, we can't help but turn to Bhagavan. This is for the life of a bhakta. Samsari, they do other things. So, harsha vishad, jnana and jnana, knowledge and ignorance. You know, my friends, this knowledge that we gain, knowledge of the self, when one gains this knowledge, there is nothing else for us to know in this world. When you discover who you are. With Atma Gyan, there is nothing, you don't have to learn anything else. That's why we must read Bhagavad Gita. We must do dhyan. We must ask questions. We must read the Upanishads. I'm going to ask a rhetorical question. Don't answer me. It's asked only for the effect only. How often do you read Bhagavad Gita? Don't answer me. Please don't answer me. We have it out in our homes. कपड़े से बांधकर हमारे पूजा रूम में रखते हैं और जय जग आरती उतारते हैं. अच्छी बात है. Keep it in your room tight and do arti every day. Much more important than that, or I should say equally important as doing arti, is khol ke padho. Open it and read pyare. Bhagavan has to say something about you and I in there. So you and I like Arjuna. So he is addressing us in that Shastra. Open it and read. Again, the only way for us to become enlightened, to become one with Bhagavan, is through Jnana. Karma will find its fulfillment in Jnana. People say, you know, Panditji, I can't follow the path of Karma Yoga, I can only go to Jnana. A little bit of book knowledge is dangerous. I can only follow this path of Jnana. Are bhai, if you don't take care of your raga and dvesha, your likes and dislikes, how can you sit to meditate? Try it. One day try sit by yourself in a room. Close the door. Say, I'll meditate here. The first time you do it, or the first 10 times you do it, when you sit there for 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes, you just want to open the door and get out. We must take care of our raga and dvesha first, or else we can't meditate. We're only fooling ourselves, pyare. Take care of your likes and dislikes. Try to have some control over situations in life. Don't respond to things that you should not respond to. Don't react to situations. So Bhagavan Shiva is saying, Harsha, Vishada, Jnana, Jnana. These are attributes of the Jiva. Jiva, Dharma, Ahamiti, Abhimana. Egoism and pride. Jnana, Jnana. Knowledge and ignorance, joy and sorrow. These are attributes of the Jiva. But these characteristics of poor Bhagavan Sri Ram is beyond all of that. So we all have these pairs of opposites. We have to understand them. Atma kya hai, anatma kya hai. What is Atma, what is not Atma? That is why the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, every Hindu should understand what Bhagavan Sri Krishna told Arjuna in the second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 2, verse 11. Asocha natno sochastvam. Excuse me. असोचान अनुशोचस्त्वम प्रज्ञावादाम से भाषसे कथा सून च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. You grieve for that which ought not to be grieved for, yet you speak words of wisdom. We all behave like that. So every Hindu must understand what is written there from the second chapter, verse 11. That's where the actual teaching of the Bhagavad Gita starts. When you understand the second chapter, you have a bird's eye view of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Because whatever is discussed in second chapter is only elaborated in the other chapters, the subsequent chapters. Because दो मार्ग है, karma and ज्ञान. They will lead to the same goal, प्यारे. So we have to take care of our joy and sorrow. Just try to maintain an equilibrium, a balance. It's hard. Pain and suffering come your way. Our way, I should say. हम सब संसारी है. We gain and we lose in life and we react to situations. You want to know how strong your faith is in Bhagavan? You know, when I've seen this all the time. I myself experience it too. When you lose a dear one. When a close family member dies, your mother, your father, your spouse, brother or sister. The first time you experience the death of a dear one, I've seen it so often. People who are not spiritual cannot handle the emotion, cannot handle the pain and suffering. That is why bhajan karo. We must chant the name of Bhagavan Pyare. You can't begin to imagine how powerful is Bhagavan's name. In those moments when you're down, when you can't get up, bhajan will aapko uthate hai. Bhagavan's invisible hand will come and lift you up, Pyare. There is nothing as powerful as bhajan. Ram Brahma Vyapaka Jagajana. The whole world knows, O Parvati ji, that Ram is Brahma. He's the sum total of this universe and beyond. He's Brahma. And the word Brahma comes from the Sanskrit word Br, which means to expand. It has many other meanings, but one of the meanings of the word Br is to expand. And when you look at this planet Earth, when you look at this whole universe, from a scientific point of view, it keeps expanding, isn't that true? The galaxies keep expanding. How they were 50, 100 years ago, 10,000 years ago, they're not the same. They keep expanding. So Ram is Brahma. Paramananda Pares Purana. He is supreme bliss. He is the highest. There's nothing higher than Brahman. And also, he is that ancient being, Purana, ancient being. You know, in the Puranas as well as the Upanishads, you will find a description of creation. The purpose for the description of creation to help us to understand how ancient Atma is. So this one wanted to become many. This one reality wanted to become many, to perform Leela. That is why the one became many. Many jivas, many animals, many beings. And at the end of the Leela, everything will merge into reality again. So where are you and where are you and I? If we don't understand this, the arrogance take the better, and the pride, these things take the better part of us, Pyare. You're only part of Ishwar. We have a role to play. You know, when the role is done, if the actor does not want to leave the stage, the director gets him or her taken off the stage. When our role is done, sometimes you don't want to give up the role. We have to remember that you're only playing the role as a husband, as a wife, as a brother, as a sister, as a member of society. You're only playing a role. And each life is we're playing this role. Look how many roles you had in the past, my friends. How many parents you had in the past. How many handsome husbands and wives and beautiful children you had in the past. They're within space and time. They can't last. That is the physical bodies. You see, with this understanding, we can't help but love Bhagavan and appreciate everything that we have in life. If not, we keep complaining all the time. Is that true? मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे ये चाहिए. And everything we get, we feel that we'll be happy. Is that true? I want this. 10,000 square feet. Just an example. Is God, may Bhagwan bless you to get 20,000 square feet house. Just an example, my dear friends. We feel that when we get that, we'll be happy. Then who's going to help me clean it now, Bhagavan? Is another problem. You want a fancy car. You got the car. The car is parked in the driveway, but not really by driveways parked here. And all, just a little example to tell us, have them. Use them. Arthan Kamba, you're entitled to them. Use them. Use them with the intention that it's lent for you Jivan Do Din Ka. It's only for 2 days, Prade. After that, you have to go. I heard a beautiful story a couple days ago. I want to share it with you before we conclude our satsang this morning. There's one gentleman, came from a wealthy family. So the death of his father, his elder Chacha took control of all the wealth and didn't give him anything. He left Lucknow and he went to Bombay. And he wrote his Chacha a beautiful letter saying that, Chacha ji, Sadar Pranam, my respectful adoration to you, Chacha ji. So I'm just summarizing the letter he wrote in Hindi. Thank you for not giving me anything. I appreciate that. But I want to congratulate you for taking all the wealth that my great-great Paraja couldn't take. You took it. His father couldn't take it, you took it. My father took it and he died. What are you going to do with it? Thank you for not giving anything. You made me realize that these things are transitory. His Chacha immediately got on the phone, left Mumbai and go immediately, and wanted to give him all the wealth immediately. He didn't want anything, was a dharmic person. Just a little example. So the father and the great-great-grandfather couldn't take the wealth. What are we going to take, Pyare? What are we going to take with us? And we see so many families at the death of the father or the mother. The parents become the glue to, especially the mother. She holds the family together. Jab Mataji chali jati hai to everybody goes their separate ways. And the same family, they fail to realize that the parents didn't take the wealth, didn't take the house, didn't take the land, didn't take all this fancy jewelry. And they're fighting for it, like if they're going to take it with them. But it takes a mature mind to think this way, Pyare. All of us can't think like this. That's why Ram Nam Japo. Take care of your raga and dvesha. Because do din ka. We all will have to go one day. We'll continue our katha, the discussion between Parvati Ma and Bhagavan Shiva next Sunday. No, not next Sunday, the following Sunday. Bole Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. So just a quick reminder. Next week, we have Arujana will be conducting 3 sessions of Bhagavad Katha. Once again, I ask of you to come Bajao. So next week, from Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Friday night, Saturday night, from 6:30 to about 9 p.m., he'll be reading Bhagavad Katha for the first time. And then on Sunday, the Mandir Puja will be around 9 a.m. And then, the Vedi Puja will be 9 a.m. And then Mandir Puja should start around 9:30, a little earlier. So the yajna concludes on Sunday around 12:30. I kindly ask of you to come and give me your blessings. This is the first time I said he'll be delivering a sermon from the Bhagavad Puran. And we need the children. They were able to present the Shastra. Remember, people change, society changes. The Shastra message does not change. Message remains the same. But the way of spreading the message must change. So we can capture the young generation. The method of presenting the material must be in such a way that you can be able to capture the young generation. So it will be a different way of presenting the Bhagavad Katha he will be doing next week. Please come and give me your blessings. Om Shri Krishna Yanamaha. There's Priti Bhoj for everyone after Arati. Shri Sita Lakshmana Bharata Shatrugna Hanumat Sameta Ramachandraya Namo Namaha Hanumate Namo Namaha Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram. My dear friends, I'm sure you've heard all of these kathas many times. Bhagavad Katha you've heard so many times. Raman Katha you've heard so many times. But every time you go to a satsang, we must try to leave with some little message. You have to leave with some message. So what is being said, try to capture something that you can learn. Something that probably you heard before, but it has a different way of presenting it. The person who delivered it, put it in a different way so that you can understand. You know, sometimes you go to Bhagavad Katha sometimes. I listen to Asta sometimes, all these great Kathakar. But some of the younger ones, they're knowledgeable. But sometimes you don't hear one shloka from the Bhagavad Puran. Sometimes you don't hear one shloka from the Shastra. You're talking and singing all the time. So what we have to do, we have to come back to the basics. We have to see what the Shastra has to say. We have to come back to the Shastra Pyare. We've been diverting all the time. We have to come back to the basics. Shri Krishna Yanamaha will conclude Arati. Everyone will come for Arati, please. But I ask that you please do not go on the Vedi. Please do not go up on the altar for Arati. You can go when we're done for safety concerns. Prakrishta Papanashaya Prakrishta Phalasiddhaye Pradakshinam Karomisham Prasida Parameshwara. Khade ho jaiye. Please stand everyone. Please come for Arati everyone. Shri Sita Lakshmana Bharata Shatrugna Hanumat Sameta Ramachandraya Namah. Arati Shri Ramayan Ji Ki Kirati Kalita Lalita Siyapi. Will come in a line please. Everyone will get a chance. No need to rush. Sab aarti karenge. Line mein aa jaiye please. Aaram se. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद
गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद
वाल्मीक विज्ञान विशारद वाल्मीक विज्ञान विशारद सुख सनकादिशेष अरुसारद
सुख संकादिशेष
अरुसारद बरनि पवन सुत कीरति की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की तावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश
तावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश
छहु शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस मुनि जन धन संतन को सर्वस
मुनि जन धन संतन को सर्वस
सारा अंश समत सब ही की आरती श्री
रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की
गावत संतत शंभु भवानी
गावत संतत शंभु भवानी
अरुघट संभव मुनि विज्ञानी
अरुगत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी
व्यास आदि कविवर्ज बखानी
व्यास आदि कविवर्ज बखानी
कागभूषुंडी गरुड़ के ही की आरती श्री
रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी
हरनी विषय रस फीकी,
परिमल हरने विषय रस पीकी,
शुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती की,
सुभग श्रृंगार मुक्ति जुबती की,
दलन रोग भाव मोरी अमी की,
दलन रोग भव मोरी अमीती,
तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की,
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीर्ति कलित ललित सिया पी की,
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीर्ति कलित ललित सिया पी की। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
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 सीताराम राम राम सीताराम राम राम, सीताराम राम राम सीताराम राम राम,
सीताराम राम राम सीताराम राम राम, सीताराम राम राम सीताराम राम राम,
सीताराम हनुमान,
सीताराम हनुमान,
सीताराम हनुमान,
सीताराम हनुमान।
कृपा करके हाथ जोड़िए. All of us will clasp our hands nicely, especially children. Please place your hands like that, nicely by your chest. Close your eyes. Meditate on Bhagavan as we conclude the final prarthana. Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhoshcha Sakha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva, Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardana, Yat Pujitam Maya Deva Paripurnam Tarastu Me. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Dhyauh Shanti Antarikshagam Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rapah Shanti Aushadhaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shanti Vishwadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurudevo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. बोलिए रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, राधा कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, जगदम्बे मैया की जय। हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव, सनातन धर्म की जय। Please take arati everyone. Come, I'll give you prasad and panchamrit. Please don't forget, take a flyer when we're going.